Hey guys, so today is Fancy Friday, and this is basically, this is me in a suit. Every Friday I dress up in a suit in the office, and it's actually funny because this thing that I started, it's kind of, even if, like everybody else in the entire office is now getting fancy on Fridays. So yeah, this is as fancy as I possibly can get. But enough about Fancy Friday, let's talk about what degree should you try to get to be a programmer? Now, there's a bit of a backstory here, so just bear with me for a moment. Today I was contacted by a nice young man from Nepal. Believe it or not, that's a far ways away. He reached out to me on LinkedIn, basically. And he asked, basically, he started by saying that he needed my help. And so I asked him, okay, how can I help you? And he explained that he's just recently done his technical base year, or like he basically is now in this like he's built up some grades, and it's time for him to pick a field of study at college. And so he asked, since Fredrik, since you are a software developer, you should probably know what the best path to take is. And considering that I used to be in his position, it wasn't all that long ago I was in exactly that position where I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys out there, if you're not a senior developer, or if you're not a programmer and you're just starting out, the odds are that you have a very similar question in terms of, all right, what should I study to become a programmer? And I'm going to give you the same answer. I'm going to tell you guys what I told him. And what I said was very simply, first and foremost, I tried to kill some fears, because I think that a lot of people are asking these things out of fear rather than anything else. Like they want to ask you want to be confident in that the selection that you're making is a good one, because you're going to stick with it for quite a while. So you want to make sure that it's going to work out for you when you're done. And so I told him, if you just think about this thing to start off with, I am, like, I was talking about myself basically. I am a completely average individual in as many aspects as you can possibly imagine. I'm not a super coder, and I told him I don't have a fancy degree or anything like that. So the first thing you need to know is that your degree doesn't mean shit when you have some work experience. The only time your degree is going to matter is in very specific types of situations, and with a lot of very silly and narrow-minded companies, or rather very few of them, actually very few of them. Most of them will most of them don't actually care about your degree. Your degree is really only significant if you are going into an extremely specific field of study. I told my friend, my new friend, that unless you are literally going to be a computer scientist or a physicist or something of that nature, and your focus is program or statistical analysis, anything like that, where the academics actually are hard requirements for you to do your job, then it won't matter. Trust me, the only time something like that matters is in the very, very start. When you have more than 1 year of work experience, it doesn't matter at all. Or rather, it matters so little that you might as well not care about it. Now, that is of course an unsatisfying answer, and I'm aware of that, so I told them that the strongest choice, if you want to go into something that's going to give you the best foundation in terms of academics at college, that would be of course computer science. Computer science will teach you a lot of important concepts, and statistical analysis with a focus on programming is also highly valuable. I also told them that if you want to be a little bit ahead of the curve, the best thing to study now would probably be machine learning. Machine learning is getting very popular very quickly, and a lot of especially in the US, they are hiring kids out of college, like basically before their semester is over. So machine learning is coming, and it's coming really strong. But the thing is that, and this is the important bit, I told him that the demand for programmers is so massive that myself, just today, and this is insane, I'll tell you what happened today. I was just working, and my boss comes up to me and hands me his phone. and says there's some guy who says he's used to work with you and he needs there's a person calling to ask about a reference for an old colleague of yours. And I said, okay, yeah, that's a bit strange, but yeah, sure. I took the call. Turns out it was a recruiter. So he lied his way through our phone lines to get to talk to me so that he could do his pitch for his client. This is not uncommon. It's happened to me and 2 of my other colleagues in just this week. That's how massive the demand is. They try, like, I'm not joking. Recruiters will try to scam their way to get to talk to you if you have some work experience. So what I'm saying is that the demand is so massive that you are going to get a job. It doesn't matter what type of programming you do. Virtually doesn't matter. Of course, there are some stuff that is more popular than other things, and I'm going to talk to you about that as well. Of course I am. This is what I told. I'm basically just relaying what I told my new friend. And so I said, like, that is the reality. As a programmer, you are in extremely high demand. Probably one of the highest demands there is in the world. And when you realize that your degree doesn't matter all that much once you have some work experience, the real question you should ask yourself is, what is it that I want to study? What is it that I will be passionate about? Because at the end of the day, the people who are the company's who hires you, they don't. It's not like just because you studied at Harvard or MIT, then you have a job. They're gonna check you. Because they don't want you because of your degree. They want you because you can code, because you can solve problems, because you're good at what you do. And being good at what you do has nothing to do with your degree. Some of the best programmers I know don't actually have an official education. They are self-taught masters of coding. And it shows in their code tests, in their ability to reason about problems. It shows everywhere. They didn't have to go to school to learn that. And this is the case as well. That's because academics in programming, as I said, it's like a certification. It's something that inflates your CV. You should absolutely study. I mean, I personally studied computer science because I thought it was very interesting and fascinating, but it's not a hard requirement. So when I told them, if you now know that any programming you can do is going to give you a job, the real question is, what do you want to learn? And bear in mind, whatever you choose is going to most likely give you an employment. Some of it is going to give you a job faster, some of it's going to take a little bit of time. And if you just want a job really quickly, I can tell you right away, okay, learn web-based programming, JavaScript, and Java or .NET, or both if you want to be a hybrid. Done. You will get a job. I can guarantee you that you will get a job. Even if you're not that strong of a coder. I have classmates who just barely passed the bar at the university and they got a job basically immediately. That's how massive the demand is. And even if you can't cut it as a programmer, there are jobs in IT, like just knowing how to code will get you in the door. You can be a tester, you can be a product manager, you can be all kinds of things if you know how to code, because it is that strong of a badge. So to summarize my little video here, the question that you're asking, what degree should I get? If you ask that question, I want you to think of it more in terms of how can you don't ask that question. Ask what are you interested in? Because there are many ways for you to learn how to program, but you need to be interested in what you're doing, because if you are, as I said, if you can code, that is enough. Just being able to write code will get you a job. Trust me. But if you want to really enjoy what you do, then you need to ask that question. Because trust me, I didn't pick my path in life because I thought that I'm just going to suffer through this so that I can get a job and get some stability. I did it because I'm truly, genuinely interested in what I do. And I think you should make the same choice. It's okay if you don't love every second of every day, but I urge you strongly to focus on learning things within IT. Like, as I said, as long as the results are that you can produce software, doesn't matter what you do. As long as you can write the code, then you will be, as I said, then you will get a job. Guaranteed. And so, yeah, That's basically my advice to you. Don't ask, like, look at the different courses, look at what seems interesting and pick that. As long as software development is in there somewhere and you know how to program, the rest is up to you. Because trust me, the school isn't going to turn you into a decent programmer. You're just going to learn the basics. Really skilled programmers, they are genuinely interested in what they do and they hone their skills over time. The school is just going to give you the bare bone basic. I have never met a fresh like a fresh out of college student who could write software at the level of a professional. They can write the software, but you know what? That's just it. Think of it as being a doctor. A doctor is not full. Just because you studied all the courses and you finished all your coursework doesn't mean that you are a surgeon. After that comes the intern period, where you actually have to practice the skills you learned in college for a little while. And I can tell you, after college, after you finish your computer science degree, the best thing you can do is to inflate your CV and prove to, like, through your CV, show that you are genuinely interested in programming. Get different projects going, attend meetups, present meetups, do things that make people want to invest in you, because the biggest problem for you as a junior developer is to convince somebody to take a chance on you to start off with, because as soon as you have those years, your value skyrockets. Your value is very low as soon as when you get out of college, because you're not proven, you're not a safe bet. But as I said, that's not a big issue. And once you have those first few years, as I said, people will scam to get to talk to you. That is the reality. Hopefully I mitigated some of your fears, because what I'm trying to say to you basically is that if you are, rather that's what I was trying to tell my friend as well. Like, to me, I got the sensation that he was a bit insecure and he just wanted somebody to kind of ease his fears. And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Trust me, you are good enough to write software. You are good enough. It's okay. You will, if you can program, you will get a job. All these things are true. Trust me, I've been where you are. I know the fear. I know how scary it is. And trust me, it works out. It will. Just make sure that you genuinely care about the thing that you're doing. And as long as you do that, it's all good. Trust me. And welcome to IT. I'm very happy to have you join our community.